You ever see a company roll out this amazing, game-changing strategy and you think, wow, this is it. But then a year later, absolutely nothing has changed? It happens all the time. A brilliant plan gets cooked up, but it just never makes it off the whiteboard. That's the strategy execution gap. And today, we're going to figure out exactly why it happens, and more importantly, what the secret formula is for actually getting things done.
So that's the big question, right? What's the difference? Because it's not just about having a smart plan. The real magic, the secret sauce, is all in the execution. And that starts with knowing what kind of moves you can even make in the first place.
All right, so let's start with the strategy itself. I want you to think of your strategy like you're designing a high-performance race car. This is the cool part, right? It's the big ideas, the clever blueprints, all the moves you're planning to make to just blow past the competition on the track.
Now, when you're out there on the track, you basically have two ways to play. On one hand, you can go on the offensive. This is all about aggression, finding a rival's weak spot and hitting it hard. Maybe you slash prices or you launch some groundbreaking new tech that makes their stuff look old. On the other hand, you've got defensive strategies. This is all about protecting your lead, building a fortress around your market share to make it really tough for anyone to challenge you. And there's this really cool, really powerful type of offensive move called the blue ocean strategy. The name says it all. Instead of fighting it out in a bloody red ocean full of sharks, your competitors, you sail off and find your own private, clear blue ocean. You create a brand new market where there are no rivals. You literally make the competition irrelevant. Of course, having a great move is one thing, but knowing when to make it, that can be everything. Sometimes being the first mover is a massive win. You get to build your reputation, lock in customer loyalty, and basically set the rules for everyone else. But sometimes it pays to be a late mover. You get to sit back, watch the pioneer make all the expensive mistakes, and then you can swoop in with a better, cheaper product. It's a huge gamble either way. Okay, so you've designed a world-class, unbeatable race car. It's perfect, but what good is it if your pit crew is a total disaster? You'll lose the race every single time. And that's where we need to talk about the other half of this equation, the part that so many people forget, your corporate culture. So what even is corporate culture? Well, think of it as the personality of your company. It's the vibe. It's all those unwritten rules, the shared beliefs, the traditions that just exist. It really boils down to that simple phrase, it's how we do things around here. And that culture can either be the engine that pushes you forward or the anchor that holds you back. A strong culture, it doesn't just happen by magic. It has to be built brick by brick. It starts with hiring. You've got to find people who already vibe with your core values. Then you have to actively teach new folks the ropes, your company's way of doing things. And this next part is crucial. Leaders have to live the culture every single day. Finally, you reward the people who get it and you hold people accountable who don't. It's a full-time job. But let's be real. Not all cultures are created equal. Some are like a finely tuned engine, just humming along, making everything happen smoothly. And others? Well, others are like pouring sand in that engine. They'll grind even the best strategy to a halt. And the difference is, it's just night and day. Healthy, winning cultures are all about high performance. They're adaptive, they welcome change, they're obsessed with what's going on with their customers and what the competition is up to. Unhealthy cultures? They're the exact opposite. They're scared of change, they're political, everyone's looking inward, and they're totally blind to what's happening in the market. A healthy culture is your best friend in execution, an unhealthy one is your worst enemy. And hey, if you find yourself stuck with an unhealthy culture, I've got some sobering news. Fixing it is not a quick fix. It's not a project you can knock out in a quarter. We're talking about a marathon, not a sprint. It typically takes a solid 2 to 5 years of really dedicated effort from the top to turn that ship around. So we have the car, that's our strategy. We have the pit crew, that's our culture. What's missing? The driver, of course. This is leadership. The leader is the one who puts it all together, who gets that car and that crew working in perfect sync to actually win the race. And honestly, you cannot overstate how important this is. The research is absolutely clear on this. When you look at companies that successfully changed their culture versus those that failed, the number one difference, the most visible factor, is competent leadership, period. Without a good driver, the best car in the world is just a very expensive piece of art. So, how do great leaders pull this off? Well, one of the most powerful and honestly simple techniques is something called management by walking around. It sounds kind of old school, but it's brilliant. It just means leaders get out of the corner office, walk the floors, talk to people, ask questions, and get a real feel for what's actually going on. It keeps them connected and lets them steer the ship in real time. And it goes beyond just walking around. The best leaders are masters at mobilizing their teams. They treat employees like valued partners, not just cogs in a machine. They build this amazing sense of shared pride, that esprit de corps. They give people real ownership. And they set big, challenging goals. But then, and this is key, they tie rewards directly to hitting those goals. Okay, let's bring this all home. We've talked about the race car, the pit crew, and the driver. Now it's time to put all three pieces together and reveal the winning formula. And here it is. This is the whole shebang. Success is not about choosing. It's not, should we have a great strategy or a great culture? No way. The secret to closing that execution gap is getting a powerful, undeniable alignment between your strategy and your culture. And that alignment is created, driven, and protected by great leadership. So I want to leave you with one final question to chew on. Think about your own organization. When you're trying to execute your big strategy, is your company's culture the accelerator, flooring it and pushing that race car forward as fast as it can go? Or is it the emergency brake, quietly being pulled in the background, holding back even the most powerful engine? The answer to that question might just explain everything.